Look at this outline. If you drew this, you'd probably stop right here. I thought the same thing. But shading doesn't just add detail. It's what turns this into this. Stick around, and you'll see how. There are 3 things happening in this outline. Let's go through them one at a time. Step 1, the cross. 1 vertical line down the center of the page, 1 horizontal line through the middle. That horizontal line is your nose line. From there, 3 more evenly spaced lines, eyebrow, chin, and a 4th line. Step 2, face width. This is where I made my mistake. I eyeballed the small rectangle formed where the nose line meets the center line instead of measuring it. I made it slightly too narrow. That single decision is what made the whole face feel compressed later. Once you have that rectangle right, mirror it on both sides. That gives you where the ears begin and your full face width. No guessing, no grid. This isn't the box method. You're not forcing the face into a shape. You're building lines around the face you're actually looking at. Step 3, the features. Hairline, eyes, nose, mouth, all placed using simple, straight lines. Not because straight lines look real, and I'll be straight with you. At this stage, resemblance is maybe 40%. That's normal. Here's the part most tutorials won't tell you. After I placed the features, the face looked narrow, noticeably narrower than the reference. Every instinct told me to erase it. I didn't. Because the outline's job isn't to look right. Its job is to hold the structure. And the structure was already correct. So far, I've only used 1 pencil, an HB. That's about to change. Everything you're about to see, every fix, every correction, the entire transformation happens with 1 pencil, an 8B, and shading. This is where it actually starts. Before I touch the shading, 2 things happen first. I soften the pencil lead, and I erase every hard line from the outline. Why? Because in a few minutes, those lines need to disappear completely into shading. If they're too dark now, they'll show through later. Now, before you shade a single stroke, there are 3 things you need to understand. Get these wrong, and no amount of blending will save the portrait. Number 1, know where your light is coming from. Before anything else, decide where the light hits the face. That decision tells you exactly which areas stay untouched, the highlights, and which ones don't. Number 2, your hand pressure. Every part of this face has a different value. The eyes are darker than the cheeks. The mouth sits close to the cheek tone, just slightly darker. The hair is darker than almost everything else. The more you read these values before you shade, the more realistic the portrait becomes. This isn't optional, it's the whole game. Number 3, and this is the one people get wrong the most. No hard lines. Ever. Shading works the exact opposite of the outline. Take the nose, for example. I start with an outer edge, but that edge isn't a hard line. It's the beginning of a shaded mass. Dark on the outer edge, gradually blending inward into the shading. That's what makes a portrait look finished, not beginner work. So where do you actually start? The nose. Always the nose. It sits at the center of the face, which means every mistake from the outline gets automatically corrected here, because everything you draw after this, you're comparing back to the nose. Once the nose is done, the eyebrow comes next, automatically. From the eyebrow, you get the upper eyelid and the lashes. That's how you lock in the exact position of the eye. The horizontal guideline is already there from the eyebrow. You just judge the small gap above the eyelid by eye. Here's something you'll notice. My outer face boundary was narrow. Remember that mistake? So when I got to the eyebrow, drawing it on that first boundary made it look too narrow compared to the reference. I had to widen it here. The moment I got close to the eyebrow, I could tell exactly where the real outer boundary should be. So how do you find the second eyebrow? Through the shadowed side of the nose, the inner part closest to the eye, the side the light doesn't reach. That's the easiest reference point your eye can lock onto. Now, the mouth. Don't rush to draw it directly. Shade the areas around it first. The smile crease, the cheek, these give you more information than the mouth itself. If you're struggling to place it, use the eyes. Next to the smile crease, there's a small shaded area. The gap between that shadow, the crease, and the face boundary, you can judge that by eye. That's how I locked in the width. Not too narrow, not too wide. Get this wrong and the whole portrait feels off, no matter how good the shading is. For the other side, the width near the ear, here's a trick I use constantly. The width of the eye you already drew is the same width as the gap between that eye and the hairline near the ear. It's called the comparison technique. Instead of guessing distances, you're measuring one part of the face against another part you've already confirmed. I have entire videos just on this technique alone. One more. The hairline width, right where it meets the ear, matches the width of the opposite eyebrow. You don't need to use only one method. Mixing techniques isn't a mistake. The only thing that matters is getting an accurate result. Hair comes down to 3 things. 1. Work the darkest areas first. 2. Follow the direction the hair actually grows. 3. Don't let the size drift bigger or smaller than the skull. Add too much hair and the portrait stops looking real. It starts looking like a caricature. I did this with no eraser, no blending tools, just pencil. The neck is where a lot of portraits fall flat. Look for the darker patches and the lighter ones and match them exactly. Shade just under the chin slightly darker. That's what separates the face from the neck and gives you real depth, not a flat cutout. Now, the part I saved for last, the eyes. Notice something? Even before they're finished, the resemblance is already there. That breaks the rule everyone tells you. Always start with the eyes. I do them last on purpose. 2 things matter here, and only 2. First, the pupil position. Move it slightly and the entire direction of the gaze changes. Second, the light reflection inside the pupil. Every eye reflects light. Find that shape, protect it, and shade around it. Same process, both eyes. Small adjustments to the lashes if needed, and you're done. 1 pencil. That's it. That's the whole transformation. Still think that outline was wrong? If this actually changed how you think about shading, that's the whole reason I made it. Try this proportioning method on your next portrait. I guarantee it'll save you from guessing. Drop a comment with the face you're working on next. I read every one. And if you want the full breakdown of the comparison technique, that video's right here.